Oh hey guys, it's been a minute and there's something I want to talk about, and that something is the Meta Ray-Ban Gen 2. Now, long-time viewers will know that I've had smart glasses in one form or another for a very long time. How long? Well, in this picture of me wearing the first gen spectacles, I still had hair. That's how long. I've been rocking smart glasses in some form or another for the last 9 years, which, saying out loud, sounds insane. And I'll be honest, I really like the Meta Ray-Bans Gen 2, so much that I kinda hate that they're made by Meta. But other than that, they're a pretty good step up from what I refer to as the Gen 0, the Ray-Ban Stories, my most recent device before these. So why the doom and gloom in the video title? And why am I so annoyed in making this video? I'm glad you asked, and that reason is this. They're slightly broken. Now listen, the reason I want to talk about this isn't because of the fact they're broken, although that is obviously a large part of it. It's the way in which they broke and why I think this is a design flaw with the glasses as opposed to a smaller problem. As I said before, I've had smart glasses for a really long time. And looking at these, there is one very clear flaw that led them to break. And so even though it's not a manufacturing defect, according to Ray-Ban, I tried to get warranty back, I'll tell that story in a moment, it is still a problem with their glasses, and it is still kind of their fault. For a bit of context as to how they broke, I've only had these glasses for a few weeks, and last weekend I was out wearing them, and as I went to take them off, they got caught on a piece of clothing, and basically they snapped. Now, if this was just visual, I'd be kind of annoyed at myself, and if it happened in the heat of action, I'd be even less annoyed with myself, because as far as I'm concerned, cameras, which is how I predominantly use this, are a production tool, and if they break in the course of action, then they've done their job as long as you got the shot. So the thing that really annoyed me about these breaking was that it was so uneventful. I'd just been taking them off, and suddenly they snapped. And suddenly, I snapped. That's so dumb. I took a closer look at the Gen 2s and compared them to the Gen 0s, and I saw that there was a clear redesign that meant that it was structurally significantly weaker than it had been previously. And what was that redesign? Let me show you. If you look at the glasses closely, you can see the hinge piece and also this little metal tab. Now, it looks structural, but on the case of these Gen 2s, it's just for show. They don't actually provide any function. In the Gen 0s, that is actually part of the hinge mechanism. What that means is that in the Gen 2s, they're a lot weaker around the hinge, and as is the case on these glasses, that plastic cracked, and underneath it, the PCB broke as well. But as I said, the damage isn't just visual, it's functional too. All of a sudden, it now no longer knows whether you're wearing them or not, so it doesn't know whether it can play music, for example. So that functionality, completely gone. You can't talk to it, you can't do anything with it. But on top of that, the right-hand side is where the button is. In fact, if you look at the very top, you can see that's where the plastic is weakest and that's where it broke. That means that you can't take video or photos, and it's now just a completely dead brick. There's nothing I can do with them apart from wear them as very expensive transition glasses, but I can't really do that because, as a reminder, the plastic is broken. So I took this to Essilor-Luxottica, the company that make Ray-Bans and basically every glasses ever. If you look at their Wikipedia page, you'll realize that basically every name brand sunglass you know is made by the same company, and by the way, that allows them to charge up to 1000% markup. Questionable business practices aside, I sent them a bunch of pictures and I explained the situation. I was using them as sunglasses and I was taking them off, and they broke. To which Ray-Ban said, "Hey, that's cool, but how about you pay us £321 to fix it?" For context, £321 is basically the price of the glasses. And I think that's intentional for two reasons. Firstly, they don't want to have to fix the glasses, but secondly, I don't think they can. Looking at teardowns from iFixit, for example, you can see that these things are basically glued together and almost impossible to work on. I think Essilor-Luxottica took a look at the pictures and realised there's nothing they can do with these glasses apart from throw them away. And so, if I take that offer, what they will do is effectively send me a brand new pair, because I don't think they can repair them even if they wanted to. What that means for me is my only option is, I don't know, buying a new pair of glasses, I guess, for an extra £321, or biting the bullet. These were an expensive purchase. I spent over £400 on them, and less than a month in, they're just a paperweight. George from the editing room here. I have a bit of an update since we last spoke. I teared down the glasses and I discovered that the actual electronics are fine. The only thing that's damaged is the plastic itself, so I went back to Ray-Ban to explain that. And the response has made me even more angry. I'm just going to read you the email, and you can also see it on screen. But I mentioned that everything is fine except for the plastic housing, and they replied with, "We do not recommend replacing Ray-Ban Meta plastic housing on the right stem, as replacing plastic housing may damage the components of the glasses. Therefore, we will provide you a whole pair of new glasses and you don't need to send back your damaged glasses." That's right, in this email, Ray-Ban has admitted that they are incapable of repairing these glasses, and the reason they're charging me 85% of the price of the glasses is because they're going to send me a brand new pair instead of doing any repair at all to what is ostensibly quite a small bit of damage. This is the equivalent of cracking the back glass of your phone, and the company going, "Oh yeah, sorry, there's nothing we can do with that. You actually just have to buy a brand new phone." All of the bits that cost money and are delicate are all completely fine. It is just the exterior plastic housing that is damaged. I honestly think it's a little bit crazy of them to admit that there was nothing they were ever going to do, and all they could ever do was send me a brand new pair of glasses. Which makes you kind of wonder why the warranty repairs system exists if they can't actually repair them. They can only send you brand new ones. So I guess I'm now keeping an eye out for someone who breaks the left side of their glasses, and I can switch my left side for their right side or something. I don't know. It's just insane. What's funny is I've had the exact opposite interaction with a different brand, Framework. In the last year, I bought a Framework laptop and the heatsink has been acting up a little bit. The fan is just like a little bit rattly under high RPMs. And I sent Framework a message. I said, "Hey guys, not the end of the world. However, it is a little bit annoying. It makes a bit of noise. And if you guys would send me a new fan, I'd really appreciate it." Now, to be clear, I was willing to buy one had it been outside of warranty, but it was inside warranty and it looked like a problem with the fan. So I asked nicely and they've sent me a replacement. The thing is, Framework make all their devices extremely repairable. You can buy individual screw sets from the Framework website. Ray-Ban, on the other hand, only offer one replacement part, and that replacement part is the case, as in this. They don't actually give you any parts for the glasses themselves. There's no way to find them, you can't buy them, you're just out of luck. When making the warranty claim to Ray-Ban, I said to them that I was willing to speak with their engineers and to discuss the issues I had. As I say, I've got a lot of experience. These are my 4th generation of smart sunglasses in one form or another, and I'm more than happy to talk to the team and explain what I've experienced and give them more information as best I can. Their response was, "Sorry, our internal engineering team don't actually have a phone line, and therefore there's no way of you to contact them." So not only are they not willing to repair the glasses that their design flaw broke, they're also not willing to listen to someone tell them why it broke and how, and provide feedback and advice. Now I get it, I'm just some guy on the internet. But these are devices that Meta want to claim is the future of computing or something, or AI is going to take over the world, and they're so convinced of that they renamed Facebook to Meta. And if we're going to have wearable computers, then surely they should be, I don't know, wearable? Something that you can actually put on and take off without them breaking within a month? So I guess if nothing else, this is just a message to Ray-Ban out of frustration more than anything else. If you're watching this, do better. That's about it. Anyway, for long-time viewers, I hope you enjoyed the whiplash of seeing that notification pop up, be like, "Wait a minute, Snappy-Tech is posting again?" And for new timers, subscribe, because there might be more videos in the works. And I promise I don't just rant about tech companies. Mostly. If you want to see some other videos, they're old at this point, but this is a good one.